Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about IELTS speaking. IELTS speaking is one of the 4 sections of the IELTS test, and it's designed to assess your ability to communicate in English in a formal setting. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of IELTS speaking test, and I'll also provide you some tips for success. So if you're planning to take the test or if you want to learn more about IELTS speaking, then this video is for you. So by the end of the video, you will be able to describe a familiar topic using specific examples, and you will also learn how to pace yourself while speaking to give a full natural response. And then you will also learn how to use the proper tense when speaking about the past, present, and future. And finally, you will also learn more about practice strategies for answering introduction and interview questions. So stay connected. I hope this video is going to be very helpful for you. Let me give you a few tips to prepare for IELTS speaking. Learn about test format. That means know what is the structure of the test, what type of questions are asked in each section, what is the timing of the entire test and that of each section, and also what is the scoring criteria. Speak English. Practice with native speakers if you can find one. If not, you can practice with non-native speaker also. You can go to online resources to find your partner for speaking practice. Record and listen. This will enable you to learn about your mistakes and do self-correction. Improve vocabulary. Develop your own notebook where you keep on writing words, but whenever you look up a word, do not just look up its meaning. See how that word is pronounced and what is the usage of it. I'll discourage you from translating the word because translation fixes the meaning, but in English, meaning changes in different contexts. So learn about the word rather than translating it. Few more tips. Read and listen. So engage with English text and audio content. And for text, choose variety of text. For example, journals, magazines, research journals, newspapers. So read as widely as possible and also keep on collecting words. And also audio content. So you can go to YouTube or podcast. News channels are there also. Watch their discussion. So improve your exposure to English. Pronunciation and intonation. So learn how words are pronounced. Words are not always pronounced the way they are spelled. For example, knowledge, K is silent. So know how a word is pronounced and also learn what is the stress pattern, where the sound falls and rises. So see how I'm pronouncing these two words. Pronunciation, intonation. So see, there is rise and fall of a sound. So stress is on intonation, on na sound. So you need to understand what is the pattern of stress in each word. And also practice with sample test questions. There are quite many available online, or get a good book where you can see what are sample questions and practice with them. And lastly, get feedback. So seek input from a qualified teacher or tutor to enhance your speaking abilities. So he or she can give you specific feedback that is required to improve your speaking skills. Let's now talk about various parts of IELTS speaking test. In total, there are 3 parts and we are focusing on part 1 now, which is introduction. This section is more like a warm-up and this will help you getting comfortable with the test format. But this is of course assessed and it evaluates your ability to communicate in English. And common questions in this sections could be related to your work, study, what you do in free or leisure time, and your views on a specific topic or specific topics such as environment, traffic congestion, or let's say health issues. So how you should approach this section? You should provide detailed answers. Do not give one-line answer. If the question is related to your work, where do you work? Do not just say, I work in a hospital or any other answer. Expand on the answer. Say maybe what type of work it is, what you do, how you feel about it. So expand on the answer. So maybe you can approach it from tense point of view also. For example, you can talk about the work in the past and what is your work in the present and what it can be in the future. So in any case, you have to showcase that you are proficient in English. One line answer will not be sufficient enough in assessing your language abilities. For practicing part 1, I have provided you a list of common topics. So develop questions on them and practice answering them. So the topics could be related to favorite holiday destination, benefits of physical exercise, importance of technology in everyday life, impact of social media on society, advantages of reading books, challenges of modern parenting, benefits of learning second language, effects of climate change, pros and cons of online shopping, and importance of time management. These are just a few topics, but it will really be helpful if you practice answering questions related to these topics. Now let's look at a sample question from IELTS Speaking Part 1. So the examiner can choose a topic such as food. So she can start, let's talk about food. And then she might ask questions related to favorite food, enjoying food, tried unusual food, traditional dish from your country, or eating out or cooking at home. So how should you approach these questions? First of all, be specific and provide details. So as I said earlier, at least provide 3 to 4 sentences for each question. Share personal preferences and use descriptive words, descriptive language. Words which help the examiner in visualizing what you are talking about. So for topics such as food, vocabulary could be such as cuisine, food, exotic, traditional, flavors, ingredients, delicious, favorite. So these words can show the examiner that you have high level vocabulary. And if it comes to favorite food, so you can talk about any favorite food that you have tasted or that you know of. For example, Italian food, love pizza, lasagna, or if it's a question related to enjoying food, you can talk about how creative you are in preparing food, how you keep adding flavor to foods, or you keep doing experiments with different types of ingredients. You can talk about unusual food, recall a trip that you took and then tasted any unusual food, maybe spicy food, sour food, you tasted shrimp, soup, or anything that you don't normally eat. And when it comes to talking about traditional dish, so name that traditional dish and try to explain that, how that dish is prepared. That will help you in expanding the answer. And also you can talk about preferences. You can say that I love cooking at home. It helps me in controlling over the ingredients and I can add flavors that suit to my personal taste. So see, what I'm trying to tell you here is that give at least 3 sentences answers so you can show that you can speak English fluently and then you can communicate in English effectively. Here are a few more questions for part 1. Practice with them, read them and try to record yourself and see if you can answer in 3 to 4 sentences. So, and then also check your grammar and kind of vocabulary that you're using. So practice answering these questions. Let's now talk about IELTS Speaking Part 2. IELTS Speaking Part 2 is the second section of the IELTS Speaking test. It assesses your ability to speak at length on a given topic. So the examiner will provide you a topic and you have to speak at length on that given topic. You have 1 minute to prepare your response. So the examiner will give you question prompt, and along with that he will also or she'll also give you a piece of paper. You can make notes on that paper to prepare your response. Speaking time is up to 2 minutes and that will be uninterrupted. So the examiner will interrupt you when either 2 minutes are over or he or she would have made decision about your language abilities. And the assessment criteria is your fluency, which means you can speak without hesitation. You are not doing so you're not hesitating a lot during speaking, and also you are coherent, which means you are using cohesive devices in connecting ideas. So if you add examples, so you can use words such as, for example, moreover, furthermore, or if you're contradicting, you can use words such as however, nevertheless, but, or when you conclude your viewpoint, so you can use words such as in conclusion, thus, as a result, hence. So one of the criteria is assessing coherence in your speech. And vocabulary also, whether your words are at basic level or intermediate or advanced level words, then there are marks accordingly, there is band accordingly. And grammar also, your sentences should be grammatically correct. If you make many mistakes, then your band will go down. And pronunciation also. In pronunciation, not only that you are pronouncing word correctly, but you are also using correct intonation. So correct intonation is really important as well. And topics are personal experiences, opinions, or descriptions. So don't worry about the content because that will be related to your personal life, personal experience, personal opinion. Stay on topic, although you can digress a little, but then mainly you have to be on the topic. If you do not use relevant words, if you digress, if you move on the topic, you won't be using relevant words, so you will be scored low on vocabulary. So stay on the topic and provide well-developed response. And what is well-developed response? It means it has beginning, it has middle, and it has end also. So you have to develop your topic properly. So use preparation time to organize ideas and make notes. So you can develop, you can organize your thoughts on the piece of paper that is provided to you. You can look at the paper, of course, but you won't have sufficient time to read from the paper. So use that paper to support your ideas, to support your speech. Let's now talk about strategies to prepare speaking part 2. Take notes, but do not write lengthy sentences. Take brief notes to organize your thoughts. Use keywords, abbreviations, and use connecting devices, connecting words such as however, in addition. These will help you in linking your ideas. And also manage your time. Allocate time to this part wisely. Know how long is your beginning, and then how long is your middle, and how long it's going to take you to conclude your idea. And also provide examples so to support whatever you are saying. So that will demonstrate that you can speak coherently, and also that will help you in speaking at length. And practice fluency. If you hesitate more often, then your band score will definitely go wrong. And also speak clearly at a natural pace with proper intonation. When we are in exam, we sometimes can get nervous and either we'll speak too slow or we'll speak very fast. So practice before the exam so that you should know what is your pace and speak at a natural pace. So keep in mind these tips, but practice, practice, practice. Let's now look at the sample question for part 2 of IELTS speaking. So your question would look like this, what you see in the green box. Of course, it won't be colored green and there won't be heading and there won't be questions at the bottom. These are for your help. So the question would read, a prompt would read like this. Please read the topic below carefully. You will be asked to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You will have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. And then there'll be prompt. Describe a place you have visited, you should say, and then there'll be 3 dots which will give you a kind of outline which you should cover in answering the question. Where it was and when you went there, whether anyone went with you, what happened during your visit. Also explain what you liked or didn't like about that place. So when you would have covered all these areas, all these subtopics that are given here, you would have spoken at least 40 minutes or 50 minutes, but then you have to speak more than that. So you need to think carefully how you can speak at length. One strategy can be speaking about the scenario in the past, present, and future. That will give you enough material and you won't run out of content. And then after you have done speaking, after you have finished speaking, or after 2 minutes are over, the examiner will ask you one or two questions related to the topic that was given to you. So practice speaking on this topic. And once again, I'll suggest you to record yourself and see how you're speaking. And here is another question for you to practice. So you can pause the video and practice, and then you can come back and continue with the rest of the video. Let's now talk about IELTS Speaking Section 3. This is the final part of the IELTS Speaking test, and this is a conversation between you and the examiner. So take it as a discussion. So questions will be related to the topic from Section 2, or there can be different questions as well. So don't worry about the content. It's not going to be difficult. And the topics will be related to societal issues, culture, education, or abstract concepts. So they are not about you specifically, they are general topics. And in answering them, you will be required to express your opinion and discuss various aspects of the topic. So you'll have to give reasons what you believe in or what you say. So you'll explain, you'll extend, you'll justify what you say. So I'll suggest you to target at least 4 to 6 sentences while answering questions in section 3 or part 3. Let me give you now a few tips for speaking section 3. Prepare, that is, familiarize yourself with topics and practice abstract discussions. Look at the past papers, past questions, and practice answering questions. And also support, use examples, facts, and experiences to reinforce your idea. So whatever you believe in, you have to justify that. And you can justify that by giving examples, facts, and quoting your experience or somebody else's experience. Give it a proper structure. That means you have to give answer, whatever your idea is, and then explain that, maybe add 1 or 2 examples. So this is how you structure it well. And also add concluding sentence, hence, by saying hence, as a result. And also pay attention to the questions before responding. If you don't understand, don't worry about asking the examiner to repeat. So you can say, pardon, excuse me, sorry, I didn't get it. Can you please repeat that? So this will also show your language abilities. And active listening. So engage with follow-up questions to demonstrate attentiveness. So whatever answers you may give, the examiner will ask you questions related to your response. So pay close attention to those questions. A few more tips. Time management. Maintain a steady pace to cover relevant points. So don't speak too slow and don't speak too fast. So you have to maintain a natural pace and speak with confidence. Utilize intonation, stress, and body language effectively. Take it as a discussion, debate, where you are trying to justify your viewpoint. When we try to justify viewpoint, we don't just speak with our lips, our whole body tries to respond to that question. So expand your vocabulary, know as many words as possible, because of course it's the taste of your English and vocabulary is part of the taste. Read and engage, improve comprehension and language skills with English material. So learn grammar books, know the structure of English and pronunciation practice also. So nowadays there are softwares which tell you whether you are pronouncing words correctly or not. Use them and specifically pay attention to intonation. We don't normally pay attention to that as non-native speakers, but then I'll suggest you look at the word in the dictionary and see how intonation occurs for any specific word. That's it from my side on IELTS speaking. So I hope you learned something. If this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe. See you in another video.